the desert that breathes. This is the story of Kolmanskap, a land lost in time, forgotten by its people and buried in sand. Namibia's desert, a vast ancient expanse stretching for over 2,000 kilometers along the Atlantic coast of Namibia. It's not only one of the oldest deserts on Earth, dating back over 55 million years, it's also one of the most mysterious. This is a land sculpted by time where wind carves mountains from sand and silence tells stories older than civilization. For centuries, the Namib was known more for its harsh beauty than anything else. Few dared to cross its dunes. Its heat was merciless, its landscape alien. But below the surface, hidden for millions of years, was a secret that would change everything. In 1908, near the coastal town of Lüderitz, a man named Zacharias Lawala made a simple discovery. As he was clearing railway tracks of drifting sand, something caught his eye, a glittering stone half buried in the ground. Unaware of its value, he handed it to his German supervisor, August Stauch. Stauch examined it and was stunned. It was a diamond. This discovery was no fluke. Soon more diamonds were found, scattered across the desert like stars fallen to earth. Men crawled on hands and knees through the sand, collecting riches beyond imagination. The Namib's silent reign was over. A diamond rush had begun. The diamond rush begins. Once news spread, Lüderitz was flooded with speculators, miners, and dreamers. Within months, chaos descended on the desert. German colonial authorities acted fast. They cordoned off 26,000 square kilometers of desert, naming it Sperrgebiet, or the Forbidden Zone. Only approved entities could mine. Anyone else risked imprisonment, or worse. German corporations quickly consolidated control, with companies like Deutsche Diamantengesellschaft profiting from the desert's buried fortune. Mining towns emerged overnight. Canvas tents gave way to sturdy buildings. Railways, power lines, and water systems were rushed into place. The desert was being conquered, and Kolmanskap would become its crown jewel. But beneath the surface of this frenzy was an undercurrent of injustice. Indigenous workers were conscripted into labor, often treated little better than the tools they wielded. The wealth flowed in one direction, toward Germany. The cost, however, would be paid by many. Still, the boom continued, and soon Kolmanskap would rise from the sand as a desert utopia, at least for those at the top. Kolmanskap, City of Illusions. Kolmanskap was a paradox. In the heart of the desert, it mimicked European luxury. Villas lined the streets, a hospital boasted advanced X-ray equipment. A school educated children in German, there was a bowling alley, an opera house, even a champagne delivery service. Sparkling wine chilled with imported ice, delivered by camel. At its height, Kolmanskap was producing over 1 million carats of diamonds per year. Prospectors boasted of scooping diamonds with teaspoons. The ground sparkled at dusk. But the town's glamour concealed darker truths. Local Namibians, forced into backbreaking labor, lived in harsh conditions outside the town's core. Their toil was invisible, their pain unspoken. As Kolmanskap grew richer, its soul grew emptier. Then came World War I. Global diamond prices fluctuated. Other rich diamond fields were discovered farther south. Slowly, Kolmanskap began to decline. By the 1950s, it was abandoned. The desert reclaimed what was always hers. When the people left Kolmanskap, they left more than buildings behind. Stories clung to the sand like mist. Stories of cursed diamonds, of violent deaths, of vaults never opened. Some said the wealth had angered the spirits of the desert, that those who got rich too quickly suffered strange misfortunes. One tale speaks of a mining overseer who vanished during a sandstorm, his bones never found. Another tells of a prospector driven mad by greed, who sealed a fortune in diamonds beneath the hospital's floor before vanishing. Of course, many called these tales fiction, romanticized ghost stories. But even skeptics admitted, Kolmanskap felt haunted. At night, wind howled through broken shutters, sand crept into every crevice. And then, almost a century after its fall, a map was found, hidden in the personal effects of a long-dead geologist. It showed tunnels, forgotten shafts deep beneath Kolmanskap. One was marked with a single word, Verloren, lost. Today, much of the Sperrgebiet remains closed to the public. Officially, it's a national park. In truth, it is a land of secrets. Satellite images show the remnants of mines, roads swallowed by dunes, entire villages erased by sand. Few dare to enter. But one man did. Thomas Owala, a Namibian investigative journalist, had grown up hearing tales from his grandfather, a former laborer in the diamond fields. The stories haunted him. When he inherited a journal and the strange old map, he made a decision to go into the Forbidden Zone. With a small team, he crossed into the desert. The sun was merciless. GPS signals flickered, and then, near a collapsed shaft close to Kolmanskop, Thomas found what he was looking for. Inside, buried beneath decades of sand, were crates of rusted mining equipment, water cans, and a sealed leather pouch. Inside it, photographs, German military documents, and a handful of uncut diamonds. More than that, there were journal pages describing secret shipments, diamonds stolen from official records, hidden away before the collapse. Thomas had uncovered more than a mystery. He had found evidence of a buried scandal. Legacy in the sand. News of Thomas's discovery rippled across Namibia. Scholars, archaeologists, and journalists descended upon Kolmanskop. New excavations revealed personal artifacts, overlooked archives, and chilling photos from the colonial era. The Namibian government launched inquiries. For many Namibians, especially descendants of laborers, it was a chance to reclaim stolen history. Museums began developing exhibits dedicated not just to diamonds, but to the people behind them. Today, Namibia's diamond industry is evolving. Offshore mining now yields more than land-based operations ever did. Regulations are stricter, partnerships aim for sustainability and ethics, but the past remains a shadow. Kolmanskop, meanwhile, is open to tourists. Visitors walk through sand-filled rooms where pianos lie silent and wallpaper peels like old skin. They marvel, they photograph, but few truly listen. The Namib has not forgotten. Its sands still whisper of greed, of sorrow, of hope, and of stories buried deep, waiting to rise again. Subscribe for more forbidden history, myth, and the occult. Let me know in the comments.